Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Hi, Gary. Hi, Jim. I hear it's time for another episode of In Touch with Brant Aerials. I hear you got a great show tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I gotta go. I got a thing to take care of.
He's still taking care of that thing. Jim won't be with us tonight. We're hoping that we get to hear from Jeff Noreman. We've set him up, but I haven't seen him in the studio yet. But anyway, without further ado, our stand-in star co-host, Mudball Don.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I feel a lot like, remember when the Dukes of Hazzard got rid of Bo and Luke and they got Coy, and I can't remember the other one's name for like a season.
Coy and Fish?
Koi Fish, yeah. No, I feel like that. I'm a stand-in. I'm nowhere the quality, but that's all right. I'm gonna put my heart into it. That's all that counts, right?
We're doing fine. How you been?
As far as I know, pretty good.
That's good. Good.
I haven't heard any different. Have you heard anything different?
No.
All right, then must be good.
Any chance you're going to the Florida Drone Meetup?
I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not.
I'm going to go again.
I am about to start putting in applications for real. He's on. What are you doing? Interrupting the show. He's on. Doesn't he have a red light that says on air?
Yeah, but it's in the kitchen. She came in the back door.
Gotcha.
So anyway,
video production is not paying all the bills, so it looks like I'm going to probably be putting in for a job somewhere. So it really depends on how that goes. And
okay, well, that's part of the problem with running your own business is you have to do it all, right? You got to go and find the work. You got to go and find the work, and And I know it teaches you your weaknesses. My weakness is being a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. Yeah. Well, you see, that was my strength, was being a salesperson, but then I couldn't deliver the goods.
Darn.
It's good to be your own boss until you find out the boss is an asshole.
Incompetent asshole.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
No. And you find yourself working, you get up in the middle of the night to pee and you get an idea and you go to your computer and the next thing you know, it's 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, I wish ideas came that easy. No, they don't. You say, what you do is you wake up in the middle of the night, you think, I've got that thing I've got to get done. And you sit there in bed waiting for the idea all night long.
Oh, okay. No, I get the idea, but it'd take me hours.
I get a million ideas. They're irrelevant ideas.
Yeah. Well, mine was mostly stills, posters and advertising and brochures and flyers and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Sure.
So it was mostly, graphic design stuff. And, you put it together, you tweak it. You don't like the wording, you change it. You change the spacing of the wording, the kerning, the fonts, you do all of that stuff. And the next thing you know, it's tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you present it to the client and they go, I don't remember talking about that.
I've gotten, you fall down that rabbit hole of getting to the twiddly bits.
Yeah.
I call them. It's just, and you're like, nudge it. Nudge it.
Nudge it.
Hold on. Lean back. Come forward. turn this way and glance real fast to see what stands out.
Yeah. Well, I used to use a mirror and see it backwards, right? So if it looked backwards as it did forwards, then we'd be all set, you know.
Right. That's an old art trick.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, guess who's here?
Is it the guy whose name is on the title?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Noreman.
There he is.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
When you have a fake background, you have to be careful. You put your fingers, or it looks like I'm cursing someone out, which I'm not. There we go.
Just don't turn your hand around. That's all. Just don't turn it around.
And I'm setting up my better microphone because you guys deserve the best in audio quality from me.
There you go.
So, and you won't be able to see it because it's black. So unless I put it in front of my neck or something, it's going to look like I'm just screwing around in the air here. It's very interesting to watch me set up. But I just had a guy knock on my door that used to live at this house that stupidly ordered 2 audio systems or something, whole house audio, and they're worth about $3,500 each. So, damn, I thought it was, I didn't know what they were, but he showed up, and I guess I had to give it to him. It was only the right thing to do.
So, how you been? I haven't seen you since Saturday.
I know it's been actually, it has been a long week. The singer Sarah Bareilles?
Yes, you were going to Washington to see her.
We went to Washington, and it was a Sarah Bareilles concert, which was taped by the best video equipment I've ever seen in the Kennedy Center, which is one of the best sounding venues I've ever been to. And it's being taped for broadcast on PBS on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one or the other. But she was fabulous. She even sang an Elton John song.
Really? Yeah, yeah.
It was terrific. It really was a good show. It's a bit of a trip, but I've become a little bit of a rail fan where you can get on a train and go to another place, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, that would have been handy for us, because I'll tell you, that drive back on Sunday
sucked.
It was brutal.
Well, but the further you got from New York, probably the better it was, I'm guessing.
Oh, it was great. We really enjoyed that trip. We had the meetup, of course. We went down Friday night, and we checked in a place in New Jersey, in Carteret, New Jersey. And what's that?
I'm sorry to hear you were in Carteret, New Jersey.
Yeah.
How's it sound now? I changed microphones. Does it sound different?
Yeah, but the microphone's cutting off a corner of your face. There you go. Oh, now we see it.
Okay. There we go. Now it's not cutting off a corner. And I can show you my beautiful lighthouse.
There you go.
Not so far from me. There's a bunch of beautiful lighthouses on Long Island.
Yeah, I guess. Now, you do a lot of still photography, right?
I do a lot of still photography. I do a lot of video. And I do a lot of photography that has nothing to do with drones. Drone is just another great tool that I use. As a matter of fact, in my 20s, I used to go around the country teaching group and individual portraiture. And one of the things I told people all the time was, make sure everyone shoots from 5 feet above the ground. And everything looks kind of the same. There's only so much you can do with that. So lay down on the ground, shoot up, get on a balcony or a window 2 or 3 stories up and shoot down, do things different. Well, I don't have to do that so much anymore, because I can just go.
Right.
That's true. It's a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
In my photo vest on the back, right behind my back, my lower back, is a folded up quarter of a tarp, so I can lay down on muddy stuff like that. It stays right back there, and if I need to get down, I haven't worn that vest in forever, but.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's a good thing to do, because you want, and this is what I try to tell people in the drone world. Simply getting a drone is like someone handing me a paintbrush. It will not make me a painter of a piece of artwork. It won't even make me a painter of a house. You have to develop the skills. Yeah. And the fact I was lucky enough that my father put a camera in my hand with a nice Zeiss lens when I was about 7 years old. He did make me buy the film. He did make me pay for developing. But I learned to shoot. And as a matter of fact, once in a while I still throw in a roll of film into one of my old film cameras. I'm sure none of my kids will ever touch them after I'm gone, but it's nice.
My son,
it makes you think more rather than going.
My son has purchased a couple 35 millimeter cameras and just went around, found these places, been developing his own black and white in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
So there's some nerdy kids that will.
It has the camera company that I have every brand still between video and still, but what I started with was Pentax with a screw mount, and then I switched to the K mount, and I still have a lot of all of my, I would say 1, 2, 3 film camera bodies still. I wish I could use those lenses.
I wish I still had my ZX5. I loved that camera. I carried it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went digital, it sat in the closet forever, and I was like, I'm never going to touch it again, and got rid of it. And the second I got rid of it, I'm like, I miss it.
Right.
Mainly because it was a camera I carried with me.
Yeah, I've still got my Yashica with I've got a 50 and a 70 to 200 zoom, and it hasn't been out. I bet you I haven't had that out in 20 years.
All right, you probably need to have it cleaned and lubricated before you attempt to use it, because if not, you'll have generally bad results. Even if you just let it sit there, you don't have the batteries in it, because that's the thing that happens. Batteries eventually will leak. Almost every battery.
Yeah,
you have to clean out the thing with baking soda and a little water and green but take that out, and then same with my old Seiko and Movado watches. You got to take the batteries out.
I've got a cheap Nikon here that sits in the window on a tripod, and
is it digital or film?
It's digital.
Gotcha.
And I shoot the birds at the bird feeder.
Uh-huh.
And now I have 2 kittens that I've kind of adopted. We live out in the country. People come out and they drop off their unwanted pets, right? And I haven't been able to catch these 2, and they've sort of become part of the family. So
if they come at you when you open the door because they know it's feeding time, then it's in some way they've adopted you, as much as cats can adopt humans.
Yeah. And we're looking at winter coming up, so I'm thinking the garage door. I've got 2 doors on the front, 2 garage doors on the front. I got a man door, and I've got a garage door in the back. So I'm thinking I might lift the garage door in the back up just a little bit to let them in, and then I'll put them in behind the fridge in the garage, and that way the fridge will keep them warm, and they'll keep the fridge from freezing, and everybody will be happy, right?
Hopefully it all works out.
You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now, when you left the meetup, how long did you stay at the meetup? I think
an hour and a half. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I really like those guys. I have a lot of respect for them because they are willing to share. They have their podcast, which stays on topic of drones pretty much for 2 hours every week. They're pretty consistent about having it every week.
Yeah.
And when I just became a 107, I believe, I contacted Lawrence, who I hadn't spoken to or interacted much with posts and such. And he had posted something in Philly. And it was really popular back, I guess it's been 5 years since I first got that, to building hop in downtown. And it has been clarified, perhaps, that you shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, before I knew any of that, I said, you just posted a video, and I'm not here to bust your chops. I'm here to find out and see was this a wise thing? And he goes, oh, my friend Billy Kyle does it all the time. So anyway, he could have said, mind your own damn business, shut up. But we talked to each other and we developed a relationship starting then.
Yeah.
I guess it probably was, at least 4 years ago. And Lawrence is a great guy, and Herman is a great guy. And they were with us when we went about 14, 15 months ago to One Police Plaza to try to tell the police, do not make this ridiculous New York City law, which they did anyway. And I told them, people are probably going to ignore you. And, people like Herman and Lawrence, who have to do it, have to pay for these permits, their clients pay for it, but so many people are not doing this because how can you really tell more than 30 days in advance what the weather is going to be?
Yeah.
You can't. It's ridiculous. And then I think the only thing they did to somewhat mitigate that is they said you can put down like 4 other different times. But if you have actors, if you have sets, if you have lighting, if there's things that have to be, more and more of the world has become a gig type situation for business where people get together like they do a movie or a commercial and then they leave and everything is set up on this particular day. Well, the fact that they can take till the day before to either give you a yes or a no is kind of BS. They take your money right away and they don't give you an answer. And I want people to be safe. I don't want, I had this discussion with Vic Moss yesterday. I said, I don't want people to be nervous, even if what I'm doing is legal. I want them to be calm. And what these people are doing is they're kind of making New York City, people that fly in New York City go underground. Sadly, I want to be legit. I want New York City police to feel comfortable. I want people in the streets to be comfortable. I don't want to have to, but honestly, me having to post a sign all around the area where I'm launching from that has my name, my address, my phone number, what I'm doing there. That's just bullshit. Sorry.
I didn't even think of all the restrictions when we were at Calvert Vaux Park.
Boom. There you go. Calvert Vaux Park is one of the 5 parks in New York City that they specifically have put aside for drone pilots to fly without restrictions other than that of the FAA.
Okay.
That's a freebie.
Yeah.
And that's why they chose it, because they realized no cop is rolling up on us and saying, you can't fly here, because it's on the city website.
Yeah.
You can fly there.
Yeah. Well, when I launched the drone, I didn't get anything where I had to check off that, I took responsibility for the flight or any of that. Right.
But Gary, how long have you been flying?
About 7 years.
Okay. Do you ever fly anything other than DJI?
Yeah. My EXO.
Okay.
My EXO Mini.
The DJI app is absolutely not exactly parallel to FAA regulations. Not even, don't trust it. There are times when it will let you fly that you shouldn't be unless you do something else, or it's just a flat no. Yeah. There are times where it'll let you fly and you can't come back because there's a geofence there. And there are times when it says you can't fly when the FAA goes, have at it. You're 100% good. You don't even need lands from us.
Yeah.
So trusting, I believe what they did is they wanted to get into every government contract at every level, at least in the United States. And they put this thing in, and it doesn't match with reality. So I will tell you, if you depend on that app, you're going to be restricted times that you don't need to be, and you're going to be allowed to fly at times when you absolutely should not.
Yeah.
Overall, it's great. My suggestion would be, when you're a new pilot and you keep the drone in novice mode, then all those geofencing should come in, as well as the height restrictions, the distance restrictions.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no reason that they should be. Listen, if I'm going down a road in my Ford Explorer and the speed limit's 40 and I decide to go 55, that is between me, my conscience, and the law.
Yeah.
It's not up to Ford to say you can't go down this road ever. It's the only product on earth that after you buy it, it restricts you on what you're allowed to do with it. And that honestly is bullshit.
Yeah.
DJI is a great company with supporting their customers almost always, more so than most.
Yeah.
Their technology is great. They did a couple shady things with information that they shouldn't have, but listen, no company or human being is perfect after Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
But there should be no geofencing. It should be between me, my conscience, and listen, if you screw up, if you fly in Vegas without permits, you're going to be, they'll come looking for you. And if you're going to be flying near a football stadium, near an NFL game, they'll come, and they should.
Yeah.
But the product, no, can you think of any other product, even a gun, that restricts you from using it?
No.
I can't think of any. Can you?
See, in Canada here, I'm an advanced pilot, and we go through what we call Nav Drone, which is a Nav Canada website, and I can fly pretty much anywhere as long as I'm not endangering people or other aircraft or whatever, right?
But you're talking about restrictions and laws and rules and guidelines. I'm telling you, if I brought my Autel Light Plus to Canada and I decided to fly over, the CN Tower, it's between me and my conscience and the law.
Yeah.
This is not going to stop me. That's what I'm telling you. If I want to be a coconut and do that, then I deserve whatever I get.
True enough.
That's what I'm telling you. Nothing else on earth restricts you. And the whole kissing the butt of every government entity did not work, obviously, for many reasons.
That's why they did it, was to try and.
Of course they did. And I don't blame them, but as I like to say, the charade is over.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop. And you let it be what it is. Let me fly it because getting caught behind things, which happens, is just, it happens. It's it's not perfect. So let me fly. And if I do something stupid, then I'll face the consequences because I did it. The more things tell you what to do, the more we're getting close to Skynet.
But the more you also have to consider, I mean, just as a person who flies every once in a while, every idiot that can go out and just go to Best Buy and walk out with a drone and start flying up in the air, there is kind of something we said for those precautions being placed around airports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but DJI is the only one that does that. The only one. And that isn't good because it's imperfect and it doesn't match laws. That's the reason why. And they don't have enough manpower to make it perfect, nor are they always attuned to when there's a TFR.
Right. No system is perfect, but I know we're all smart and we would all obey the law and we would all go through the difficulty of checking airspace and stuff like that. The average idiot that goes out and buys a drone, first thing you want to do is see how far they can fly it, how high they can fly it.
Yep.
Well, that's why DJI drones are locked in novice mode when you first unbox them, and I think that's great. If they're that inexperienced, they should be that way. But I have
said for a while that I don't think anybody should be able to buy a drone unless they've got their Part 107 or gone through some sort of
or even the trust test, right?
Right.
Well, but Best Buy does not want to look at people's trust certificates, nor are they equipped to, but in a lot of parts, I hate to get on this topic, but in a lot of parts of the United States, you have to have a cooling off period and have some sort of permit to buy a gun, which is only pretty much designed to kill people, whether you're defending your home or hunting. It's designed to kill something. Maybe you're right.
You can go on the FAA right now and look up somebody's certifications.
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
There's a list you can go on and check out pilot certifications. So the system's already in place as far as it being there.
Right. But the question is, are they going to, on a $299 drone, require Best Buy to do it? Will Best Buy do it?
No, they want to sell.
They want to sell, and they want to sell as efficiently as possible. And if you look at their stores, you'll see that they're understaffed because people self-serve and buy things. And
I'm not saying the system is perfect. I'm just pointing out that there are reasons to have these.
But we are supposed to live in America and Canada, somewhat of a free society, and we should be responsible for our own actions.
Absolutely.
So I don't think this should be the only product on the face of this earth that you need permission from the manufacturer to use.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But here's the thing, Jeff. When I fly my EXO, if I fly my EXO Mini, I'm as conscious of the rules with that as I am with the DJI thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Air 2S. The reminders Yeah, you know what? They're a bit of a pain, but yeah, it's a hoop you jump through and away you go, right?
Well, if assuming it is, but you see, when I go out on a shoot that I'm making money and I have to get it, whether it's a wedding or an event, I will always bring an Autel with me. I might try to use the DJI first, depending on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Or I might try to use the Autel first, but I will always have a non-geofence drone with me, because it's not up to you, company that happens to be based in another country. But even if they were based here, it's not up to you to decide. It's up between me and my conscience and the law.
Well, you know, and there are places where you're restricted from flying because you're within the parameters of the airport, but you're between two apartment buildings that are 300 feet apart. And if somebody's in there with an airplane, your drone's not the problem.
Right. They're
sheltered operations.
Sheltered operations should be a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. And that's why in the US we can get Lance or go through Drone Zone and get a waiver for that area.
Yeah.
And most of the time they're actually pretty good and they're relatively fast. I think I've had only a couple expire on me before they acted upon it. You know, I've canceled a couple when my plans changed, but basically they're pretty good here in the US. Don, I forget where do you live?
Missouri.
Okay.
Southwest Missouri.
Okay. So he's in the same boat as I am.
Yeah.
And you've got, in some ways, Gary, more restrictive rules.
Yeah. Well, with the Mini, I mean, basically you can fly that thing anywhere.
Can I go up to the top of the CN tower?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. And just don't do anything stupid and don't get anybody's way. You know,
wow.
It's 1,200 feet up.
I'm going. I'm bringing my little.
Well, the problem is you can't fly in Canada anyway.
Because I don't have
Canadian citizenship.
Oh, so I can't fly, period? I can fly a sub 250 though, can I?
No, you have to have a special flight operation certificate. So you apply through Transport Canada, and I think there might be a $10 fee or something.
Well, you also have to pass a driver's test like you did.
Yeah, we have to. Well, in our advanced, like what you would call a 107, our advanced thing up here, you actually have to fly in the presence of an instructor. And
I think I can handle it. I've got US, I've got UK, I've got EU. I can hopefully pass the Canadian test, unless you use a lot of the word in between.
Well,
now that you've got that many, you might as well just collect them all.
It's not like a Pokemon. Them all. The problem is, I know through dealing with IT that batteries have to be fed properly, and thank goodness we're not back in the days of the Air 2, which I loved, and the Mavic 2. That basically it became a part-time job to take care of the batteries. These batteries, they self-discharge after the number of days you tell them. And that's why people that have fleets, all you're doing is destroying your batteries by not using them properly. And taking care of them. So I'm not a big fan of fleets. In fact, I probably will wind up with a Mavic 4 Pro when it comes out, because I want more of a telephoto. And I had a Mavic 3 Pro. I returned it in 29 days. I was not impressed with, even the 4/3 sensor was not as good for many things as other things I had. I had Evo 2 Pro at that point. But the Mavic 3 Pro with the 3 lenses is great. And I'm sure the Mavic 4 Pro will have 3 lenses as well. And I can't imagine it being worse. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something to make all of those elements better. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. As soon as I have any job that I needed, I'm getting it. But I don't need to collect them.
That's me. I'm waiting for a job that I can upgrade. I had the Phantom 4 when I was working at the other place. They let me go, and so now I've just been flying my personal, which was a Mini 1. Well, I've flown it for a few jobs because I'm broadcasting 1080, so it doesn't really matter. So I go ahead and shoot the 2.7K, and it works. I haven't found a job that will let me actually upgrade to a like that.
Well, they'll all let you, but you mean that justifies you.
Justifies.
The problem, I liked the Mini, the original Mini, it was just Wi-Fi and had a really limited range. And it's not, well, line of sight. It was a question of too many things interfered with it. So the signal strength on OcuSync 2, and I'm not going to call it O2 because that's oxygen. OcuSync 2, OcuSync 3, OcuSync 4 just has better ability to recover from other signals that would interfere with it, plus better penetration. I know this is a PG show, but I mean signal penetration.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why you will enjoy it. I love. Listen,
so I
love this.
For is just to put it up a little bit, get a semi-orbit around a building, it's usually close-in work that I'm using it for. So
gotcha. As long as you're not
shoot a golf course. If I had to shoot a golf course, that would be my excuse to upgrade because I would need it and I could justify buying it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, my original Mavic Air, I was using for shooting real estate, and I made enough money in real estate to buy the Air 2S. Right. Well, once I got the Air 2S and I was retired, I didn't really need the business part, right? I've done some business, but not enough to justify the upgrade to the next wonderful thing, the Air 3 or the Air 3S and I like the compact factor of the Air,
By comparison, it's not as compact as a Mini, but it's much smaller than the Mavics.
Yeah. And better wind resistance than a Mini.
Right. Because the motors are stronger to keep it up and do its functions, and therefore it has more heft and it will resist wind better. And the ratings show that.
Yeah. And, I've got enough flight time that I'm bored by the end of the battery. So, away I come. Now, battery management, what I do is I've numbered my batteries 1, 2, and 3. When I'm finished with 3, I go to 1. When 1 is done, it goes on charge and I use 2. And when that's done, I go back to 3,
Yep. I can get mine out. I got all mine numbered too.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I do.
I had, as you can see, I have an orange drone, but I have white batteries also. So sometimes it looks like a creamsicle, but
orange on the outside, white on the inside.
Right. Exactly. So yes, I have 6 batteries that are in use and they're all numbered, and I go through them in order, and I still have to charge whatever I think I'm going to need.
Yeah.
When I go out for something, whether it's recreational with friends or for a job. So
now you live on Long Island?
I live, and thank you very much for saying I live on Long Island, because that's how we tell people who are from here or not. Because if you live in Long Island, then you're dead and you're buried if you're in Long Island. That's how we tell the interlopers. I live on Long Island. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, I've never heard of anybody saying I live in.
Yeah, people that don't live here say I live in Long Island.
Wow.
Really? What cemetery are you buried in?
Yeah. Well, you think of an island, you're on the island or you're not.
Right.
No, I guess. No, you'd be in New York City. Doesn't mean you're
right. We're in New York City. Right?
Yeah.
So,
now I enjoyed New York City. We left the meetup and we went down to Coney Island, and we drove up and down the street there. And up and down all the side streets. No place to park.
You didn't get Nathan's fries.
So we went across back to Jersey, and then we went back at night, right? And driving down that. Is it Surf Avenue or Surf? Well, anyway, we're driving down there and everything's all jammed up. I saw Nathan's and I made a left turn by Nathan's, and the second spot was wide open right in front of Nathan's.
Boom.
So we got to walk through the Coney Island amusement park, and then wound up and had a hot dog and chowder at Nathan's and fries and onion rings and the milkshake. And yeah, so we had the Nathan's experience.
Good.
Then in the morning, we went from Jersey to Staten Island. We took the Staten Island ferry across to Lower Manhattan and got to snap pictures of the Statue of Liberty and whatnot. But I was so involved in being a tourist that I never got my camera out. All I had was my phone with me, right? So, but the phone seemed to be adequate. I threw together a video and it was okay.
Phones are adequate if you're looking at it on phones or on small computer screens. They do a wonderful job with all of the computational photography and videography. And as a professional, I still do some things with my phone.
Yeah.
But if I have the time and it's not raining and if it's something for professional purposes, then I'm going to use one of my billion cameras.
Yeah. Well, you say I had a Pocket 2 in my drone case. Didn't take it out the whole time I was in New York. What was I thinking? I had the tools for
the best camera is the one you have on you.
Yeah.
Right. But remember, the Pocket 2 is really a vlogging camera. It's meant for, it's wide angle. It's for close, or you're close to a building and you want to get it. It's not a good all-purpose. The best kind of cameras are really bridge cameras. Let me see if I have it here. I think I do. Oh, I do. A bridge camera is sort of like buying a digital SLR or a mirrorless camera with a 28 to 200 zoom. Or in this case, this is a Panasonic Lumix. It has the equivalent of 28 to 480 zoom.
Wow.
So this is great to carry around. It has a 1-inch sensor. It really was pushing it to its limit to get the Eclipse, which I did in April. But I'm glad I had other cameras, but having this was very good. But the Pocket really, it's just like people say with a drone. Oh, I got the Eclipse with a drone. Are you out of your mind? It's not designed for that. And the Pocket also, it's a wide angle vlogging camera. You're not getting a good shot of so much of these kind of cameras are much more versatile.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of nice to have it stabilized when you're on the boat trying to get a shot of the Statue of Liberty.
Absolutely. I have a couple different stabilizers too. In fact, I brought one on this trip. Where is it? Because stabilizer for my phone, because when the photographer is unstable, you want the pictures to be stable at least. No laugh over that? Jeez, you guys are tough.
I see in the chat, Chris Foster says bonus points for the Crown Royal bag.
Oh yeah, that's an old photographer's trick.
Yeah,
Crown Royal bag, because it does not lint up.
No,
and I've actually never had a sip of Crown Royal, but I have about 10 of these.
Good Canadian whiskey.
Yeah. Make friends with a bartender.
So I have many gimbals that keep things stable.
Yeah.
Yeah. To go to that point, Gary, it's kind of a rough balance whenever you're traveling. Do you want to experience something or do you want to capture something on film?
Yeah.
And you can't really do both.
No. People say that, but I absolutely did during the only full solar eclipse I may experience for the rest of my life. I was in the moment with my wife and I was running 3 cameras, but I mean, most of them I wasn't doing anything. They were just shooting.
I was going, and when the totality hit, I forgot everything. I was just, wow. And I just stopped. The camera stuff, be damned. I was experiencing it.
Were you in totality?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. We flew to St. Louis and then we drove to Poplar Bluff. Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff, really?
Yes.
I was maybe 20 minutes from Poplar Bluff.
I was in Florida.
You didn't get it in Florida. You didn't didn't get a totality.
We were driving to Poplar Bluff and we got within the totality area, and I was like, let's just stop here. We're within totality, and let me just look and see. And I found a nice little fire tower that was outside of this town. We drove this back road, got to this fire tower, and I got an app on my phone to track the sun at whatever time. So I tracked it. I'm like, okay, totality is going to come right across here. It'll be total right here before it goes back into the trees. So we got a nice little break here, and nobody around. So we set up our chairs and waited, and we had maybe right before the eclipse, maybe about 15 people in that area. Not crowded at all, and I kind of regret it. There's about 15 people, and if you ever go see the eclipse, I'm going to tell people. I tell people, you're going to want to go someplace by yourself. Don't do it. Go someplace where there's people so you can experience it. It is an experience of community, of people coming together from all over to one little spot to experience something.
It was worth paying the $20 to pay to experience it from the Poplar Bluff High School area. The only thing that was weird is they wouldn't let you on the football field. You have to be in the stands or on the outside. It's a turf field. We actually have plans with someone, but since you brought that up, I want to see if I can find. I don't want to screw this up, so I wanted to take my time, but I will give everyone who watches your show a preview of what I did for the eclipse. Because remember, you're experiencing something. It's like people shoot these beautiful sunsets with their drones. We've all seen sunsets. There's very few sunsets that are really going to knock someone else's socks off. You need something in the foreground. You're not a photographer if you don't realize you need foreground, probably middle ground, and then a beautiful background. If all you have is a beautiful background, then it's like going to a play and paying to see the set. But we sit that'll be good for about 5 seconds, and then people want to see a play. So all these beautiful sunset shots, people don't put something in it that's also interesting other than that colorful thing. And it's I would say less than 2% of the shots that I see of just sunsets are good enough to stand on their own. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. It's not far away. Let's not trip over the lights.
We should say hi to people that are in the audience. I see Jody from Drone Shots and Ronnie, God Bless America, and Jim's Droning's here. Paul from Wedge and Big, Chris Foster, who is related to me. Chris, Mudball Don. Hey, Wayne B came to one of our meetups in Canada. Ray Kelly's here. I saw Johnny Drone Flyer earlier. Droning with Jamie. Jamie's a Canadian. I saw Mike from Aerosnapper really early. Dominic's with us. Northside Hawk.
Dominic.
Maybe if I went to this tab here, Artco's here. And so my
Jim Beauchart was in early. He asked if I was first again.
Yeah, and you were, but I couldn't see your first comment. So
no, my first comment disappeared.
Yeah, that's probably because I changed the thumbnail. So I think I've been through the list. If I missed anybody, chime in there and let me know, and I'll. John from Unlimited Vertical. And so we've got quite an audience.
Well,
everybody hit that like button.
Everyone is here. Just remember, this is a secret preview. Okay. So I gotta find the things. DCIL is from there. And boom. Let's go. Eclipse. Where you be?
To your point of everybody seeing a sunset, and if you're just shooting the sunset, you're not really getting anything unique. That's one of the things about the eclipse. When I was shooting it, I realized, there's going to be a million pictures online.
Right. Which is why I wasn't in a rush to get
that are better than what I'm shooting. And I put a video up, and the entire video is about I missed the totality.
You were the one. I think Paul Brown told me about that.
I told the entire story about how I screwed up. I missed the shot, but my entire point in the video was that the totality wasn't the video. The video was about all the community joining together and having an experience.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I faked it with After Effects. I faked a video of the totality in After Effects, and I put a short up with that totality. And I got thousands of views and a bunch of comments and amazing and whatever. It's like it wasn't real. I faked it, and no one knew. That
Right.
shows how much it didn't matter.
Right.
Sunsets happen almost daily, don't they?
Yeah. Me too.
I'll have to get a calculator, but I think so.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty cloudy here sometimes. It's just a gray, Gray turns to darker gray.
True. Very true. I think I put this. Oh, yeah. And now I know where I put it. Media. My filing system usually works pretty well. There we are. Okay. Almost ready for you. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
That's okay. I'm looking for it here. So.
Open. Eclipse. Locate my stuff. Luckily, I've located my stuff.
Yes, we still believe in the sun. We just don't believe in birds.
I love it.
Birds aren't real and dragonflies are micro drones. So
Yeah, something like that. Amazing what people will believe. Oh, that's lunar eclipse. No wonder I can't find it. Two. There we are.
did I say that Ronnie from God Bless America was here?
I think so.
Okay.
You just did.
Okay, there he is.
If you didn't earlier, you just did now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I have a feeder that feeds the little drones over here, and they go over and they land on the wires to recharge and get their firmware updates.
Of course they do. All right, so I'm going to show you just this.
And then they poop out these little microchips so they can track my car.
Of course they do. Eclipse. I'll give you that one. I'll show you this.
Paul wants to know how did the deck come out? And I don't know if he's asking for serious or wanting to. Okay. Came out good. I think I've had it on a couple live streams before, but
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
And you can see the red on the edge, whatever that was called. I forget right now, but no, I did it. I was thinking about you when you're right. You can easily miss the event, but I was lucky enough that I felt that I was present with my wife and all these other people, and still had, because most of these other cameras were automated at the time. I wasn't touching anything. It was just shooting. I just don't have the video right now, but you have it up online. There we go. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. It is very easy to miss something if you're shooting it. You're 100% right.
Yeah. Well, we were in New York to experience New York, and we only had a day.
Right.
So dragging out cameras and stuff wasn't really the priority.
True. I am going to have to jump because, as I said, we do have someplace we have to go to meet some people, but I'm honored to be on your show. I hope I've entertained your audience and didn't cost you any subscribers.
Well,
good. Glad to hear that.
I want to show you real quick. You showed Eclipse there.
Cool. And this was a fake. This was a fake, you said?
Yep, that's a fake.
Good job.
So,
do you have a Birds Aren't Real sticker on your car as well?
So I got a lot of comments on that little short.
Cool.
And it was like, okay, so it was worth missing it to experience it.
It was worth
there
missing
were
it.
some people who got some great shots. Did you see the Red Bull capture of the eclipse?
No.
They flew a couple of airplanes over, and on the wings they had part of the logo and had the eclipse finish the logo. So they were flying tip to tip on the airplanes. That kind of thing is pretty amazing. It's like I can never beat that shot. There's a lot of shots where people got airplanes flying overhead and got those right in the path. And there were so many beautiful shots that were done that day. It's like I would never be able to even get into the top 1% of those.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll see you again in Florida or next year at the barbecue. Or
So
now Vegas is coming up. Are you heading to Vegas?
yes, we do not we are set for everything except plane tickets, but
Okay.
yes, we are planning on going.
Yeah. I had a message from Bob today, and saying that if you better get your hotel straightened out because they're almost sold out, and now's the time to get plane tickets apparently.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were going to think about the beginning of the month, and one of my wife's apps said wait till the end of the month, and here we are. So
yeah,
we're going for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Gary. Bye.
See you again soon. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting talk. That went fast.
Yeah, it sure did. And you know what? I don't know if I can run the outro.
It would be off brand.
I have an outro, but it doesn't include Jeff now. Because, okay, here's what I did. Okay, I took the old outro, right?
Mm-hmm.
I took the old outro and I added the Dennis Lovelady from the last show, right? And then patched in the end of the outro, right? Okay. And saved it. Right? So now I don't need the old outro, right? So I scrapped the old outro. Finished. Now I go to edit to put the new one in. I need the old outro to fill in the front and the back. But
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore. I threw it out.
Away.
Yeah. I don't have the parts that are the beginning and the end. So there's that.
You don't have any of those parts.
No, I threw them out because I don't need them anymore, right? Because I got the new one, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Technologically impaired. So maybe what I'm going to have to do, like Chris says, time for a new outro. So I'll have to do a whole new. So
do you have all your thumbnails?
No. Of course not.
You can go on to YouTube and you can re-download all your thumbnails.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Mm-hmm. It'll take a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way that you could go on and download all media.
I don't know. I got 2 weeks to sort it out.
I can do it for you if you want to pay me. I work pretty cheap.
Well, I'll give you 100%. Okay, how's this? I'll give you 100% of the revenue that we get from this stream.
You'd have to double it.
Okay, we'll double it.
Okay.
Because it's still nothing. Anyway, okay, I'll play the old outro if I can find it. But here's the thing: the DaVinci Resolve one won't play. Like I can't put it in. Hold on. Let's go here. Let's do that. My internet went out today too. Couldn't figure that out. So I had to reboot my router.
You also need a new intro. You need a new commercial.
Do I need a new commercial?
I'm so tired of seeing that fisheye sandpaper kit.
You know what? It makes me smile every time. It starts me off in a good mood every time. Doesn't matter what kind of a day I've had. When I play that intro and Fisheye comes on with his sandpaper kit, makes me smile and gets me in the mood. So let me just see. There's the In Touch folder. So if I do this, okay, now present, share screen. Oh, video file. I can do a video file, can't I?
Sure.
Hey, look at that. It's already playing. It plays on its own. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being a fan. We'll catch you again next week in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm done doing that thing I was doing, and yeah, it took about an hour. But thanks for tuning in to In Touch with Brant Aerials. We'll see you in 2 more weeks.